Your live stream, so we're good to start. You're ready.
We're gonna take attendance first, like usual.
Yeah, so call the meeting to order and then.
We'll call the meeting to order. Just do attendance.
And Nick Gordon.
Here.
Jake Home.
Here.
Elizabeth.
Here.
Leanne's here. Christine. Pam.
Here.
Do we have any public comment today?
No public
I am shocked. Has everyone had a chance to review the meeting agenda? Great. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Let's get a vote on it. It says vote on our thing. Okay, so we do 3 votes. Okay, do the I guess everyone would say, what is it, I to approve? I forgot the.
All in favor?
Okay, all in favor, there we go.
Aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it, and we'll move forward. Next up is we have the review and approval of the minutes from September 11th. Everyone had a chance to review those minutes? Okay. Do we have? I keep missing, is it a motion on that?
All in favor.
Yeah.
You do it all.
Okay, all in favor of the approval of the minutes?
Aye.
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 Sounds like the ayes have it. Next, we have committee reports.
Wait a minute.
Okay, we need a motion.
No, I thought that we were at the approval of the minutes from the last meeting. No?
Was there, did we?
Did we do both?
We did.
Did we do both the work session minutes and the regular meetings?
Well, we're not.
Yeah, I know. But we did have a work session minutes.
So we have to wait to approve the work session minutes for the next meeting.
You can make a motion
To correct it and add the board, or the work session meetings. Okay, so somebody would have to make a motion. To add, I can't do that.
Do we have a motion to add the work session? For a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
There we go, sorry about that.
Work session has been approved.
Now, but we don't have the work session minutes attached, so
Then, they didn't.
they were very, very limited.
We can, I mean, if I'll put them in the next agenda, we can approve them then.
Okay, so I'll just take that out if you're.
Yeah, I'll just take that and then I'll just, because I don't think you objections to review.
Yeah, I should have called you that.
Yeah, because I did, because when I was doing, I think I got confused doing this agenda versus the work session. I don't know, there was a lot going on.
I'll take
So I will add, I will make a note, so we'll add the 9/11 work session minutes to the November agenda to approve.
Yes.
So we'll approve, there won't be work session minutes from today, but there will be work session minutes from last month to approve. And we'll do that at the November meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, back to,
All right, sorry, Dave.
report from government. I don't have anything except that I just wanted to remind Elizabeth, I don't know if you're aware, but you need 10 hours of board training.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
sure. And then you know that they're available via Zoom or by Canvas.
Yes, I have the document and the schedule of the what I assume are live meetings too.
Great, okay,
They need to be done by June of 2026, correct?
correct, and you have plenty of time.
Okay, thank you.
That's it for me.
Great, let's move on to the financial report.
Great. So we did have our finance committee meeting this month. I just wanted to start off with that. As of September 30th, we have received approximately 20% of our projected annual revenue, which does align with our expectations for this point in the fiscal year. We do anticipate a notable increase in revenue beginning October as reimbursements from our federal grants are being processed. On the expenditure side, we are currently awaiting the allocation of our lease assistance funds. So that's about 200,000 coming out of your operational fund until we get that award. In addition, we are in the process of finalizing our budget for our food service program. So you'll see a bar before your approval this month to budget in that. If you remember, last fiscal year when we were making the budget for this year, we did it under the assumption we weren't going to continue with the food service program. However, per the guidance we received, we are continuing to operate it at a limited capacity this year. We will continue to closely monitor our financial performance and remain committed to responsible and strategic financial management. Just as we begin to look at our financials and make projections for the upcoming fiscal years. We do have 3 bars for your approval this month. The first being bar number 4I. This is an operational increase bar to budget an additional $1,077 in revenue received for educational fees. These will be used to purchase instructional supply assets to support student learning. That's going to be items such as like laptops. Bar number 5I is an operational increase bar as well. It is to budget $713 in E-rate revenue. These funds will be used for communication services. And the last bar being bar number 6IB. This is an initial budget bar in the amount of $20,000. This will be for our food services program. Again, we will use it just for food expenses for our contractors. Any questions?
Nope.
That's all I have for you all.
We need to approve this or vote to approve this?
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't have to have a motion on that, that's just a vote, right? Okay. All those in favor of approving bar 4I,
Aye.
any opposed?
Do all.
Okay, great. All those in favor of approving bar 5I and 6IB,
Aye.
any opposed? The ayes have it and they have been approved.
And Leanne, I did review the bank account, thank you, okay, thanks.
Next up, we have the approval of the Altura Preparatory School Water Safety Guidance Policy, House Bill 532.
So recently, House Bill 532 requires schools to publish and share with families on water safety. And so we have, with a couple other schools, put together the guidance, and so that policy guidance is in your packet, and it basically just goes over basic water safety, certain features of our community, ditches, acequias, all the opportunities for flash flooding issues and that type of thing, and then guidance for swim lessons for each. So we have all that included in here. And then we will link this in an upcoming newsletter so that families have access to that school as required. So that's this policy. We just
Great. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's been approved. Next up, we have a discussion. Just-
Yeah. My standard. So the Equity Council report, the Equity Council is meeting next Thursday. And for the first annual meeting, and then after that, there are 3 more quarterly meetings. So they'll meet 4 times, or we'll meet 4 times a year. October, I think it's October, February. There's one more in there. October, January, March, and May, maybe. Might be how we fit those in, but so there'll be 4 meetings where we're gonna work with families on open communication systems and different ways that families can stay involved with school. So that'll be, I think, the agenda. Yeah, so we've been working on the recommendations from last year. We rolled out Parent Square, which is a school-wide app where teachers can direct message parents, like a text message. They can receive all of the information from the school in one platform. Teachers can direct message families. And it also just allows teachers to have better access to parent contact information, so they can more easily contact, and so that's not a variable. Or a barrier that they're kind of dealing with our student information system. So we've gotten positive feedback on that so far. And then there is an option for a parent directory where parents could look up and contact each other using phone or emails if parents want to share that information. So we haven't rolled that out yet. We were just rolling out the platform itself. And then now we're starting to look at the directory, because that's always been the feedback from parents is like, can you share phone numbers, or how should I get in contact with my child's friends? So we give them different strategies, like the little mommy business cards or daddy business cards, and they don't always like that. They want to have like a spreadsheet of phone numbers. So this way, hopefully people who want their information to be shared for that purpose can have that shared, and then people who want to opt out can opt out. So we'll work on that in the coming month. So that's the Equity Council report. And then I can just start the co-director report also. So, staffing wise, we're doing well. We've got our student teacher in kindergarten is coming twice a week. She spends one day with Miss Andes in kindergarten ELA and one day with Miss Brenner in kindergarten math. And so she's getting both subject areas, which is something that her program wanted her to have, which makes sense.
She's coming twice a week?
She's coming twice a week. Yeah. And that's different. I think typically they just have student teachers come once a week in the first semester, but with our subject area, they want her to have our subject area division. We want her to have the full scope of a day with both subject areas, and she's fine with that. So, so that's good. We have a special education resident currently. And we have some recent changes to our special education caseload. We've exited 2 students this month from special education, which is great. Yeah, so we're really proud of those kiddos and the teachers for getting them where they need to be, because they don't qualify for services anymore. They're doing so well. So that's really good. We are looking at attendance. Has been interesting. We've heard like across the state for the last couple of years after the pandemic, attendance has really suffered in a lot of schools, and we haven't really felt a lot of that until recently. We're gonna send out kind of some data school wide for everybody, but we're at 94, just under 95% attendance, which is kind of on the low side for us. Usually we're 96, 97% attendance. And there are a couple grade levels, K and 1, that are 92 and 91%. So, which is a lot lower than we've ever had. And you know, there's a couple kids that like went out of town, but there's just a lot of little like 1 off, 2 off, 3 off absences. So we really want to try to get families back to.
What's the APS average of those grades? Do you know?
I don't know. That would be an interesting. I would think it's probably a little lower, but I think there are some schools where it's a lot lower and some schools where it's not. So it'd just be interesting to see the trend, to see if everybody else has the same trend that you guys are seeing. Yeah, and we've heard, just on calls with other charter schools or on the statewide superintendent calls, that attendance is something that we're struggling with statewide. And like I said, we've always had very good attendance. And for me, I look at like 94, I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's just on the lower end for what we're used to and what our goals are. So we really are trying to reach out to families and try to get everybody on the same page about why we want kids to come to school if they're all school.
You know, during the training, it came up that a certain number of absences requires the school to report it to CYFD, right?
Yeah.
Which seems so hard.
It is,
Yeah, way and puts you guys in a conflict in a way, but I wonder if that's made clear to the parents in some kind of flyer or.
Yeah, we do. So at certain thresholds, so every month we run an attendance report, and so I get our average daily attendance, and then I can also see the number of students who are considered chronically absent. And so chronically absent is 10% or more of the school days. And so the chronically absent calculation stays the same, the percentage stays the same, but as the number of days increase, right, you get more absent without me. So mean, in September, the student is considered chronically absent if they miss more than 4 days. And so for every student that missed more than 4 days, I sent their parents email, saying, you know, here's your child's attendance record. It says they have 6 absences so far. That's, you know, 13% or 14% of the days, which marks them chronically absent. We'll continue to monitor this. And please note that if, you know, patterns continue or there are unexcused absences for extended periods of time, we're required to report to CYFD. And then we get responses from families with detailed explanations about why their kid is absent, which is great. Because then at least we know kind of that they're paying attention to. And our families are very good about, for the most part, letting us know when the child is sick or when they're going to be out of town for whatever reason, a family emergency or something. So we typically don't ever not know where a kid is. It does happen, but usually we're getting communication. If they're not in school.
So do you have to send that letter even if the absences are excused? Even if it's sick?
Because excused and unexcused absences calculated.
That makes sense.
Right, yeah, so it's hard, and so it's like, well, I know your child had whatever illness, and you said the doctors know, so just know that we have to set these.
And are they required to send doctors to know for illnesses?
We ask them to, I mean, so if a child is, the hard parts are when a child has a fever.
Yeah.
And is, you know, at home, the parent keeps them home, which they should.
Right.
But then they're not gonna take them to the doctor for the $25 to $50 copay because in 24 to
And the
36
exposure
hours,
to all
they're
the
gonna
other
be
drugs,
fine.
Yeah.
So that's when it's, the parents, nope, it is what it is, they were sick. But sometimes parents do, just to have it be excused. Because they like to know that that's what child.
Yeah.
So if we send a child home sick, we mark them excused and then the following day excused.
I'm assuming
Doesn't matter for the calculation.
if you have to report it to the CYFD, but you actually know what's going on, they're just signify to say, hey, we're just reporting based on.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, CYFD is very overwhelmed, so there's that.
Black hole.
Yeah, so it's just hard, I mean, yeah, you gotta have to tier
Right.
the severity, so.
Right.
There's not a lot of teeth behind that.
Hmm.
In certain cases. We're monitoring attendance, our assessment data are looking pretty good. You all know we rolled out, or the state has rolled out a new ELA assessment. It is I don't want to say difficult, it's been challenging to adjust and understand how the assessment is adjusting with kids. So we had this September, with 78% of our kids were level 4 or 5, which is 2 percentage points higher than the last 2 months, which is great. But we also had kids who were in the level 5 drop way down. And so we're trying to figure out what if that was like, well, the kid wasn't paying attention. So it just like kicked it back down to start at a lower, or if something else is happening that we need to understand in the assessment. So we're working with the company to try to figure that out. But overall, the data still look good. And then math we had 84% of our kids at the level 4 or 5, so proficient and advanced about that 68 percentile, up from 80% of the prior month. So looking.
Did you have kids dropping back in math like you did in the English?
There's always some, but not in the same
Not the same
drastic
drastic.
way. And the math assessment is still the same, like it's just the same type of assessment, there's nothing different, so we know how to look at that a little bit better. With the new Amira assessment, it adjusts during the test, and so if a child is idle for a certain amount of time, or if they answer a certain percentage of the questions incorrectly, then it'll drop them back. And so it's like if a child didn't pause their assessment and went to the bathroom, then the test recognizes that as like inattentiveness, and so then they'll to a passage that's easier.
Did you guys know that criteria beforehand, or is that?
No, we're learning it right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're learning it. We knew it was adaptive. We didn't know the threshold until you asked. Yeah, so it's hard to, and it's in kindergarten especially.
Yeah.
So we take it with a grain of salt. We're not gonna send home, we've always sent home monthly reports. We didn't send them either report for this month, just so we figured it out, but We may continue to send out math and then just wait until the reading gets a little bit more coherent, I guess. So we're still figuring that out, but we do have, parent conferences coming up next month, and so the parents won't go very long without an update about it.
I saw that niche poll, or ranking had Altura listed as the number one charter school in
really?
Mexico.
Oh, you've seen it last year, I don't know if it's a new one.
But yeah, it's the one for this year.
Yay.
Yep,
Did you see the same drops over all grades?
There were some grades where there were more, so kindergarten, third grade, and fifth grade were the ones where the teachers were concerned and where they had bigger drops. Yeah, and it wasn't all grades, so yeah, it just is an thing to look at, but yeah, it was mainly in three grades. Mhm. Yeah, so we'll keep our eyes on it and see, but I mean, the overall data didn't change a huge amount, which is good. So it's just learning how to figure out and read the data for the assessments and make sure kids are consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And then we do have data from the NMASA. The embargo period has been changed, so I'm not sure if it's still embargo. So when we know if it's embargo or not, we'll just send that to everybody, but it does look really good. And we're excited to be able to share that. And then the designations, so we've been a spotlight school for the last several years, those designations will come out. We will get our designation in October, and then they'll go public at the very beginning of November, which, so we should get them in a couple weeks. Yeah, we'll have those to share too soon. And I think, for enrollment for the 40th day, the 40th day was yesterday. We are currently enrolled at 268 students. So we had one student move schools this month, and one student move schools last month. So we're just down 2 from the beginning of the year. And we had projected 264 kids, so we're up just a smidge, which is great, which is good. Yeah, so I think we're getting much better at targeting and figuring out what stability.
So from the article that was in the Albuquerque Journal, it sounds like they don't really care about the premium that you guys are having to pay because you lost the at-risk funding.
Yeah, so, yes and no. I think they didn't understand that there was gonna be such an impact on high performing schools especially. But there are, like, we got a call, so with the special session that happened a couple of days ago, we got a call saying they may put the HB 63 on the agenda to revise it. And so we were, kind of waiting to hear if that was gonna happen, but they didn't do that. But what came out of that push was, the Legislative Finance Committee is interested in looking into it. And so the director, Sunny Vu, is, he's very smart and understands, I think, what the issue is, and has said that they will try to work on it in the upcoming session. So it's not gonna happen, but I mean, they're not gonna change the index, they're not gonna change the original intent of the bill. I think the correction would come in the form of hold harmless, which is what we had asked for. So yeah, so there's not gonna be any change to that. What would be interesting, and a couple of schools have been talking about, what would be interesting is financial incentives for school performance. So if you're performing well, then there's reward for that in your school revenue. So there's some people who are interested in, I think, working on that, and may not happen in this upcoming 30-day session just because it's so short, but I think long-term it's an interesting thing to consider.
And that would be for charter and regular public schools.
I don't know, yeah, I would think you would have to,
Yeah.
otherwise the districts are gonna oppose, and you can't.
But I mean, maybe they help them get better.
Yeah,
right?
oh, for sure, I mean, yeah, you think about it's like, if you do well, here you can, it works for 4-year-olds, it works for adults, sometimes, like, you do well, you get some.
You get a raise if you do a good job, yeah.
Exactly, so,
How long it would take for them to develop the metrics for them?
Yeah, I don't know, we need to have to, there'd have to be some, yeah. Outside involvement. I would trust. So, yeah, so I don't think it's dead, I don't think
But
it's
no relief really.
impossible. Yeah, there's nothing that's gonna come out. If anything, it would come in the coming year, which would be helpful, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. And then we found out we are going to, so in terms of the budget, we're up for children, which is good, and then we will also receive the Fine Arts Educate, FAEA, the Fine Arts Act funding. So we'll also have some revenue hopefully coming in from that program, which will also add to the budget. So there's gonna be stuff on it.
We'll see that around February, so we can get the updated SUG.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
I think just the random ballpark is about 60,000 per student.
Nice.
Great, that's all I have then.
Great. Well, with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
All motion.
Second.